pupils them in town, in town, in town.
I'm here right now at Skyline with Culture Works.
More works, positive, hopeful. Skyline levels. I eat man, season 2, Culture Works.
Every day we're going in circles.
Yeah, Culture Works.
Culture Works.
It's like Culture Works started off a year, a great work for me.
Culture Work, yeah man, it's been a great journey.
Blessed love, we're at the Skyline levels at Culture Works.
We're here again on a season 2, so I hope that you and your friend them come, right?
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winford Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
Need to estimate your duty? Perform a track and trace? Search for a declaration?
Then download the Jamaica Customs mobile app today. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is for joining us for CVM News at noon. It's Monday, January 5, 2026. I'm Amoy Harriet. Thanks for joining us. Up first, schools across Jamaica reopened today for the start of the new academic term. But for thousands of students, the return to the classroom looked very different this morning. In Western Jamaica, many schools are operating under adjusted arrangements following the damage caused by Hurricane Melissa. CVM News understands that several institutions remain under repair, forcing administrators to implement shift systems, shared facilities, and temporary accommodations to keep classes going. Education Minister Dr. Dana Morris Dixon says while some campuses are still not fully rebuilt, every effort is being made to ensure students are housed safely and learning resumes.
Some schools will continue with temporary arrangements while major repairs continue. Some will share spaces with our innovative host schools, and others will use blended approaches. And for a little while longer, learning will continue in these modalities, but no child will have their academic future put at risk because of these challenges that are beyond their control. Beyond temporary solutions, I want everyone to know that we're building back stronger.
Meanwhile, students showed up to the Petersfield High School in Westmoreland today expecting classes to resume, but teaching didn't get underway. Those who arrived were instructed to return home as the school was undergoing a sanitation and cleaning exercise. When CVM News arrived at the compound, a security guard informed our news team that the principal was unavailable for comment as he was attending a meeting. Our team also observed students being turned away at the gate, while firefighters from the Westmoreland Fire Department washed sections of the school. Now, the shelter manager, J. Anthony Clark, told CVM News that the school was not able to open its doors to the students this morning because of the cleaning program taking place on the compound. Mr. Clark said the remaining 50 hurricane victims who are still housed at a section of the school are getting their regular supplies, and security measures are put in place to ensure that the victims housed at the shelter are separated from the school population.
While I'm not authorized to speak on the school behalf, what I know for a fact is that presently the Jamaica Fire Brigade, they're on the school compound, cleaning down, washing down the school, and the workers are cleaning up the classrooms and everything. So I guess the ministry or the principal will give you an update as to when exactly we'll resume face-to-face classes with students, but we're cleaning up the school.
Now to other news, a man was killed and several others injured in the first reported fatal motor vehicle collision in St. James for 2026. The incident happened on Friday in the rural community of Childamas. According to reports, approximately 9 a.m., a grey Toyota Corolla and a white Toyota Corolla were traveling in opposite directions along the Childamas main road when on reaching a section known as 1 Mile Post, one of the drivers swerved to avoid a pothole, causing both vehicles to collide. All 7 people in both vehicles were rushed to hospital, where 18-year-old Giovanni Bailey, a student of Eden St. James, succumbed to his injuries later that day while being treated. The Anchovy police are investigating the matter. Meanwhile, 2 people are dead following a fiery motor vehicle crash along the North Coast Highway in Trelawney about 10 p.m. on Sunday. The incident occurred in the vicinity of Cooper's Pen, where the vehicle reportedly burst into flames after the collision, leaving the occupants trapped inside. Now, firefighters later extinguished the blaze, but both occupants were pronounced dead at the scene. Police are investigating the circumstances surrounding the crash. Now, the Met Service has extended a flash flood watch for low-lying and flood-prone areas of eastern and central parishes, effective until 7 a.m. on Tuesday. A broad trough across the central Caribbean continues to produce unstable weather across several parishes. Now, satellite imagery and rainfall reports show light to moderate showers and isolated thunderstorms occurring primarily across eastern and south central parishes overnight and into this morning. Now, this activity is forecast to continue through today, and with soils already saturated from recent rainfall, especially in eastern parishes, flooding remains possible even during periods of light showers. Sea conditions will deteriorate in the vicinity of showers and thunderstorms. Now, fishers and other marine interests, particularly inshore and offshore the south coast, should exercise caution at this time. A flood or a flash flood watch means flash flooding is possible. Now, residents in vulnerable areas are advised to take precautionary measures. For further information, please dial 116 or check the Met Service's latest updates. And it's time now for a break, but stay with us. Our live interview comes up next.
My name is Fredrine Simpson, Public Relations Officer. And I am Monique Bowen, Media Student. On behalf of our Distinction College family, we would like to thank the entire Jamaica for making us the #1 City and Guilds ABE and CSEC private training provider in Jamaica.
We offer over 70 vocational, professional, and academic programs.
Start online and face-to-face classes in
geriatric, pediatric, psychiatric, and practical nursing, early childhood, childcare, phlebotomy, pharmacy, and medical lab technician,
housekeeping, food preparation, waitering, bartending, travel tourism, plumbing, motor vehicle electrical installation, AC, cosmetology, security,
customer service receptionist, supervisory, project, HR, and business management, CSEC, CAPE, and many more.
Registered for any program and get City and Guilds math and English classes for free.
Visit us in Kingston, Spanish Town, St. Elizabeth, Ocho Rios.
Call us 356-4167.
Happy holidays and a prosperous new year.
This Christmas, choose life. As we recover from Hurricane Melissa's devastation, we're reminded that life is fragile. Pedestrians, stay alert. Drivers, slow down. Rest if you're tired, and never drink and drive. One careless decision can change a family forever. Let's have a safe and prayerful Christmas and a crash-free 2026.
And the music is a play, and the people them a say we are my show tonight. this is Grams Morgan. I want you to keep watching CVM TV, be inspired, be informed, right? See it happen right here on CVM TV. Morgan Heritage till year 3000 and beyond. Grams Morgan say that. See it? Blessings.
Welcome back to CVM News at noon. An investigation has found that people are being put at risk of harm by false and misleading health information on Google's artificial intelligence AI summaries. Now, in a country like Jamaica, where long clinic wait times and rising healthcare costs often push people online for answers, there are concerns that inaccurate AI-generated health advice could have serious consequences. Joining us now on Zoom for this discussion is President of the Medical Association of Jamaica, Professor Marvin Reed. Good afternoon, Prof.
Good afternoon.
Talk to me.
Happy New Year.
Talk to me. Are doctors already seeing this, where we have patients allowing Google to diagnose them? So they show up to the doctor's office and or the hospital, and they're saying, for example, that they have cancer because Google told them that?
Sure. It's actually not a new phenomenon. Certainly from medical information has been published in the literature. Some individuals feel it important or feel it wise to consult the literature before they consult their physicians. It's really not a new phenomenon. The outlet in the form of AI is relatively more recent, but the same sort of behavior we know has existed for quite some time.
And when you say quite some time, about how long are you referring to?
From as early as medical information has been published. There's a famous quote attributable to Mark Twain, which says, "Be careful lest you die from a misprint," which basically means that individuals often will read things and they will also misinterpret them. In fact, in medical school, we have a joke that many medical students often self-diagnose themselves with diseases that they're reading in their medical text. So it's not unheard of.
So in this context, if an AI summary gives incorrect medical guidance and, someone follows it, how harmful could this be, especially for persons with chronic illnesses like high blood pressure or diabetes?
Right. It can actually give them great harm. What we found, especially following the pandemic, that there was a lot of disinformation, which is really intentional spreading of false information on the internet, as well as some misinformation, which is really the unintentional spreading of false information. Combined together, what it basically means is that there's a lot of information that is on the internet, which is inaccurate and downright wrong. In addition to that, you may have information that is accurate, but is inappropriately or interpreted. And so the individuals put themselves at great risk of misinterpreting the accurate information or believing the false information. Either way, it puts them at great risk.
So let's say, for example, and I can already assume what your response will be, but let's say, for example, Pam goes on Google and she's having certain symptoms, and Google tells her she has diabetes or something to that effect, and she goes and she purchases an over-the-counter drug that Google tells her will help with her symptoms. How would that play out? What could the risks in a case like this look like?
Okay, so a couple of things can happen. So one of the first things that can happen is what we call a delay in the diagnosis. So instead of us being able to come to some accurate determination of what your problem is today, we're actually finding that out many days, many months, many years down the road. And that can lead to premature death, meaning you die because of not the correct attention being given to your problem. The other thing is that you can have a complete what we call misdiagnosis, the wrong diagnosis altogether. And again, the consequence of this is that you're going to suffer from some of the complications of the disease, which are preventable. The third part about it also is the what we call the mental health aspect of it. You may think that you have something more serious than what you currently have. And the mental trauma that you undergo or experience could have been alleviated, could have been prevented had you sought the appropriate attention. So generally speaking, the truth be told is that the internet is no substitute for a consultation with a well-trained health provider who will guide you through what your symptoms mean, because many diseases have the same symptoms. But a lot of them are what we call contextual, meaning it depends on where you are, where you're from, all the other factors that the physicians would take into consideration in coming together to make a diagnosis. So the truth be told, oftentimes you end up experiencing more harm than benefit.
Now, I just want to point out that Google did say that its AI summaries are not a replacement for medical professionals, but in reality, Prof, do you think Jamaicans treat them that way?
No, and it's not specific to Jamaicans. The general general lay public on a whole, often assumes that the lay summaries are 100% accurate. In fact, one of the challenges we have with students who are studying at different levels, whether it be primary school, high school, or the university level, is to make the point that these summaries are not 100% accurate and sometimes may be completely inaccurate. And so it's important that one actually goes to the source information that the summaries are summarizing to ensure that the interpretation is correct. Nevertheless, when it regards to health, as I said, that your best option is, if you think you have a health problem, is really to consult your health professional as quickly and as early as you possibly can, so that we can come to some agreement as to what your diagnoses are. Now, where Google can be helpful, or any one of the search engine can be helpful, is really to help explore what are some of the options that you may have available. So typically the physician or the nurse or the pharmacist may explain to you certain alternatives or certain suggestions. And one may then engage the search engine to explore what are some of the options that are available and use that information with your healthcare provider to come to some consensus. But for diagnostic purposes, it's usually not recommended because a lot of times it's inaccurate. And even when you're thinking about what the alternatives are, it's always important that you discuss these alternatives with your healthcare professional.
So, Prof,
what is recommended is that you may have more than one consultation with more than one physician. So you may get what we call second or third opinion in order for you to make up your mind. But the health professional is there for a reason.
So, Prof, you mentioned earlier, persons should consult their doctors. What about those persons who are saying they don't have the money to go to a doctor? Do you think that this, in some cases, plays into why persons are opting to use, Google to find out what's wrong with them?
Well, in the Jamaican context, that's really not an excuse. The Jamaican has basically two health systems. It has a public health system where access to that health system is free of cost. There's no money involved in order for you to see an individual at their health center. And if it is relatively urgent, at the Accidents and Emergency Department. And then, of course, you have the private health system where there's a charge for consultation. So the truth be told is that an average Jamaican citizen really has no excuse. Money is not an issue. Because, as I said, you can consult at the health system, the public health system, free of cost.
Where that public health system is concerned, do you think the long wait times, for example, might be a bit of a turn-off for many Jamaicans?
Sure. The long wait time is a factor, and I think anyone who works in the system will acknowledge that factor. But you have to contrast that with what is the ultimate outcome if it is that you're wrong. So consulting Google, while it may give you a quick answer, an instantaneous answer, the challenge you face is that the answer may be incorrect, and therefore you're now faced with a lifetime of consequences because of your impatience. And so the truth be told is that when you look at the risk-benefit ratio, the benefit for consultation always outweighs the long wait time, which is really the risk.
Do you think Jamaica needs safeguards against digital health misinformation? Should there be some sort of limits or regulation on AI tools giving health advice, whether on a localized basis or globally speaking?
So the short answer is yes. We do recognize that the challenge is how would you enforce it? And so that is the problem. Currently, I think what most of the providers of this service or this digital technology does is that they put the onus on the consumer to act responsibly. The issue is how do you navigate, how do you regulate content on the internet? And that is, as I said, a lot of jurisdictions are finding that to be very, 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 very problematic and difficult. And so part of this consumer education program is programs like yourself is really where you raise the awareness of individuals about the harms of listening to or following health